Hey there, it's Tim Squires here, and um, I've got something I wanted to talk to you about this morning. It's a beautiful morning. You can hear some birds singing and a little bit of traffic in the background, but not much. But it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful September morning. When you see this, I don't know when you're going to see this, but it's September, the first part of September, and it's beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful. I wanted to tell you some books that I read that I thought I should give a suggestion. I got this idea from my brother-in-law, who's a preacher, who's a pastor of a church, and he's having some growth in his church, and so he's looking for some. He was asking on Facebook for some ideas of some books, and I thought that hey, this is a really great idea for a blog, and maybe give us a suggested reading list for those people out there wanted to know a little bit more about me and why I think the way that I think. I'll give you some books to read and some suggested reading. The first book I wanted to mention to you is a book called Heavy Rain by Chris Vallotton. And this is a book that tells a little bit about the Holy Spirit and how he's working today in the church. And Chris is he's an awesome writer. You've got to read this book, and tells a little bit about his view of eschatology or the end times. I think it's probably one of the more balanced views of everything. So the book is called Heavy Rain by Chris Vallotton. A second book is called When Heaven Meets Earth. When Heaven Invades Earth. I'm sorry, When Heaven Invades Earth, and it's by uh, Bill Johnson, who's the pastor of a church in Redding, California, the Bethel Church. And in this book about When Heaven Invades Earth, he tells stories about, well, when heaven invades Earth, from their some experiences, some testimonies, and some thoughts and ideas of why it happens. And this is one particular story, kind of toward the beginning of the book. It's a story about a banquet that they give for his church gives for homeless people, and a man comes in and he's got this cast. He's walking with canes and a body cast and a neck cast because his muscles are all kaput. And they pray for him. Hey, this church sees awesome miracles. And all I'm going to tell you is you got to read the book to see what happens to this man. But, the man couldn't work. He was in desperate need, both physically, spiritually, financially, every way. Yeah, read the book. Yeah, you're going to have to read the book. So let's see. Heavy Rain, When Heaven Meets Earth. Oh, there's a third book written by another one of their pastors at Bethel, and the man's name is Danny Silk, and the book is called Culture of Honor. Culture of Honor. Now, this is a must-read for anybody who wants to be a leader, whether it's a pastor, teacher, um, yeah. What about worship leaders? Even anybody who deals with anybody, anybody who leads in any position anywhere should read this book. Culture of Honor. The church, as I had mentioned before, they see miracles almost daily, and some of their most ridiculous ones happen in their church during church services. And Danny Suck, the author, attributes it to a culture that they have, and he describes it in this book. And it's a must read. I'm serious. It's a must read. You should read the book called Culture of Honor by Danny Silk. Uh, those are three books. There are three more that I think are awesome books that you should read, but these other three are written by the same man. His name is Johnny Enlow, pastor, an ex-pastor. He moved out to California, so he was a pastor of mine for many years. He wrote three books he wrote more than that. He wrote a bunch of books, and all of his books are very awesome books, and you should read them all. But these three are probably most impactful for what I'm going to tell you. The first one is called The Seven Mountain Prophecy. The Seven Mountain Prophecy has to do with the seven mountains and how God intends to to reach the seven mountains through you and me and the rest of us, what his purpose and plan are for society. The second book was the Seven Mountain Mantle. And this book probably goes a little bit more into detail how he intends to do it through you and me, how this mantle of the mantle of Elijah, you might say, talks about a Joseph generation. You know, Joseph was a man who came out of he was a businessman who changed the whole, he actually saved the known world at the time because of his connection with God. And so the Seven Mountain Mantle, all the idea about the seven mountains is how you can influence, not necessarily dominate, in the way that we think of it, but influence the every area of culture using, your connection with the Creator. That's what you're created to do. You're created to make an impact, and this gives you better guidelines. The third book is called Seven Mountain Renaissance, and basically it has to do with coming back to God's way of doing things, God's better way of doing things, and how it's going to happen in the next 30 years, 20 to 30 years. Yeah, 30 years, because it's actually 35 years, because he's got it going up to 2050. So it's a real important book. Not only does it tell you about how God intends to do things in the next 25 years, but it gives a lot of other interesting things in between that are really great for Christian growth and Christian thought process. Now, all six of these books that I've given to you are mind-changing books. Literally, they will change the way you think. And if you ever read my blogs and watch my videos, and you wonder, where in the world did this guy get these crazy ideas from? It's from a variety of sources, but these books will help you understand. They understand quite a bit more about why I think the way that I think, and I think you should read those books. So I'm going to put them. Don't worry about writing them down, because I'm going to put them down in a blog. I'll even try to my best to get some links to where you can grab these books. And then I would also appreciate it if you have read any of these books, that you write down. There's a section down below for comments, and just comment on them and let other people know, what you think about the book. So it's just not hearing from me, but they're hearing from other people who's also read the books. So let's see if I can go back through them again. Heavy Rain by Chris Vallotton. When Heaven Meets Earth by Bill Johnson. Culture of Honor by Danny Silk. The Seven Mountain Prophecy, Seven Mountain Mantle, Seven Mountain Renaissance, all by Johnny Enlow. All right, so strap in. You don't have to read them all at once, but read them. Find them whenever you can, wherever you can. You can find them. I'm going to give you some links to their sites. You can probably also find them on eBay or Amazon as well. But of course, you always prefer to go through their sources, because that's where they make their money. All right, so you have an awesome day. And hey, listen, get to know me better. There's some right down below. I'm going to put a little area of how to contact me. You can contact me through Facebook, through Twitter, or through email, or comment below, and let's start a conversation, okay? You guys, you have an awesome day. It's a beautiful day. It's an awesome day. Have a great and awesome day, and I'll talk to you later. See you later.